A top story first, the Cauvery water dispute between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka took a decisive turn today, with the Supreme Court directing Karnataka to comply with the Cauvery Water Management Authority's directions on releasing water to Tamil Nadu. Now, the court has also sought an updated status on the release and posted the matter for hearing on the 24th of August. Now, Tamil Nadu, remember, had moved the top court, alleging that Karnataka was not implementing the Cauvery Water Management Authority or the CWMA's directions. The latest order comes after the Cauvery Water Regulation Committee directed Karnataka to release 12,000 CUSECs every day to Tamil Nadu for 15 days from the 12th of August, a direction subsequently upheld by the CWMA. Karnataka, however, has maintained that this is a severe distress year and that the state has its own water requirements to meet. Shifting focus to another top story we're tracking today, it's been 100 days since Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Joseph Vijay took the oath of office as Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu on the 10th of May. Among Chief Minister Vijay's first few decisions were 200 units of free electricity every 2 months for select domestic consumers, the Singapen Special Task Force for Women's Safety, and 65 anti-narcotics units across the state. Now, the government has also shut over 700 state-run Tasmak liquor outlets located near educational institutions and places of worship, raised dearness allowance for government employees, and ordered the renovation of the Amma Unavagams or Amma canteens across the state of Tamil Nadu. Now, earlier today, the government also announced a full farm loan waiver for cooperative loans up to 75,000 rupees, with smaller waivers for those with borrowings exceeding that amount. Now, the waiver itself is expected to benefit around 14.43 lakh farmers. Now, the welfare push from previous regimes has continued as well, with schemes including gold rings for children born in government hospitals, gold coins and silk saris for eligible brides, 70,000 concrete houses, bicycles for some school students, and laptops for government college students. Now, on the investment front, the government says Tamil Nadu has attracted commitments of more than 1 lakh crore rupees in its first 100 days. At the Vetri Tamil Nadu Investors Conclave, for instance, 97 MOUs worth 67,452 crore rupees were signed, with the project expected to generate over 1 lakh jobs across 23 districts. But the first 100 days have also brought criticism over law and order, crimes against women and children, power outages and garbage disposal. So the report card, at least in the early days, is a mix of welfare announcements and investment commitments. The bigger test for the TVK government now will be execution and whether these announcements translate into measurable outcomes on the ground. So let's listen in to a roundup of what those 100 days were all about, including some voices from both the government and the opposition. Take a look.
Well, in fact, today the assembly session is currently underway. The Chief Minister is inside the floor of the House, and of course the TVK MLAs and especially the ministers and the CM, they're all very happy about completing 100 days in power. So if we look at the key announcements made by Chief Minister Vijay in the first 100 days, of course we have to talk about the Singapen Special Task Force. This special task force was launched by the Chief Minister especially to curtail crimes against women and children in the state. Special women task force units have been deployed. Hundreds of them have been deployed across the state to bring down crimes against women and children. So this is one of the key announcements that the TVK is celebrating as one of their their major achievements. Apart from that, two other schemes have got a great appreciation from the people. One is the Thai Mom and Thangamodram Thittam. So under this scheme, all the newborns who are born in government hospitals, they will be getting a 1 gram gold ring. So this scheme was announced in the recently presented state budget. And apart from that, the Annan Seer scheme, under which the brides in Tamil Nadu, they will be getting a silk sari and 1 sovereign of gold. This was also announced recently during the budget. So these two schemes, these are being spoken about a lot among the people. The people are appreciating these three initiatives specifically, I must say. But of course, there are many poll promises that still remain unfulfilled too. But the TVK is hopeful that they'll be able to fulfill those poll promises as the time passes by. So in fact, talking about the controversies, of course, the Chief Minister Vijay has landed in soup for appointing his close aides to various government posts. If we look at the producer of Jananayagan movie, Mr. Venkat Narayana, he was appointed as a special representative for Tamil Nadu government in Delhi. Likewise, Mr. Vijay's close friend Jagadish, he's got a government appointment as the Chief Minister's private secretary. And recently, film producer Archana Kalpati, she was also appointed as a member of one of the state committees formed by the HRNC department. So these appointments of the close aides of Chief Minister to various government postings, these are currently being questioned by the opposition, and the opposition is also targeting the government on law and order maintenance and the Meghatatu controversy. So the Meghatatu is also one of the key talking points here in the state at the moment. So these are some of the good talks and the bad talks that we are looking at in the first 100 days of Chief Minister Vijay's governance.
Well, it's also been 100 days of the Congress actually being part of the government here in Tamil Nadu. So let's listen into what Praveen Chakravarti of the party had to say, followed by Leader of the Opposition, Udayanithi Stalin. Listen in.
It's a fresh start. I think freshness is what the people of Tamil Nadu voted for. Please remember, this is the verdict of the people. People of Tamil Nadu said, we want freshness. We want new people. We want new ideas. We don't want to be prisoners of the past. So actually, this is a big blessing in disguise. So in this case, in the state of Tamil Nadu, inexperience, quote unquote, is actually a good thing because we see fresh ideas that are coming up in the government. So there's been absolutely no evidence of any mishaps due to experience. If anything, there's only be positives because of inexperience.
யாரா ஒன்று சீட்டு கட்டில் ஒன்று இருக்கும் 2 இருக்கும் ஜோக்கரு. இங்கே 52 ஜோக்கரு. நமக்கு தான் பேர் தெரியல, யார் அமைச்சர், யார் சட்டமன்ற உறுப்பினர். தமிழ்நாட்டு மக்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கா? தெரியல, யாருக்குமே தெரியல. அவங்களால அடமொழி வச்சு பேசினாதான் மக்களுக்கு புரியுது. லாட்டரி விற்கிற அமைச்சர் யாரு? பிளாக்ல லாட்டரி டிக்கெட் வித்த அமைச்சர் யாரு?
Well, differing views then on Vijay's first 100 days in power. But moving on to news from Tamil Nadu's property space next. This is a big step towards digitizing property transactions. In fact, Chennai-based real estate developer DRA Homes has become the first CREDAI-accredited developer in the state to adopt Tamil Nadu's unique Star 2.0 framework for presence-less property registration. In fact, DRA says it's been offering presence-less registrations and e-sale deed services since the 18th of February, thereby allowing home buyers to complete the registration process remotely without even so much as visiting a sub-registrar office or relying on fixed appointment slots or tokens. The company says the system also gives buyers greater flexibility to complete registrations on weekends, government holidays and dates of their choice. In fact, the move comes even as Chennai's real estate market continues to navigate a separate challenge, and that's uncertainty around approvals following restrictions linked to the Palikarnai Ramsar wetland. And staying with the topic of approvals, developers have also been evincing some concerns over whether prolonged approval delays could affect the timing of new launches, land acquisition decisions, and ultimately housing supply in some of Chennai's key growth corridors. Now, back on the registrations front, DRA Homes says it's engaging with the registration department and TCS on improving the digital registration process behind actual user experience of the technology itself. So to tell us how it's managing to pull that off, I'm now joined by Ranjit Rathod, Managing Director at DRA Homes. Ranjit, firstly, thank you so much for joining us on South Central today. You started adopting this framework back in February, Ranjit, presence-less registrations, in partnership with TCS and the Department of Registrations itself. How has the service cut down the time it takes to close out a property transaction? Can you give us a sense of how much time the buyer is saving today when compared to the old process?
Hi, Jude. It's always been a pleasure to be with you. So this presence-less is a transformational system which Tamil Nadu government has introduced. I think it's the first state to introduce in the country a presence-less registration process. Earlier, it used to be some kind of I would say a torture to go all the way to a registration office, which is far away, travel 2 hours, wait in the heat, wait for your token, go through a lot of friction, and then get your registration done of your valuable property. But now we have a situation where you walk into a DRA office, sit in a nice cozy chamber, sip a cup of coffee, do the entire digitation process of registration within 5 minutes, just in a cozy room, everything seamless, frictionless, using technology. The room is equipped with all the instruments which government has specified with, and we have been working closely with the IG department, registration department, as well as with the software vendor TCS in improving this for the last 4 months. And today I would say it's a complete seamless process, end to end, removing all frictions. And I think more than cost, it's the convenience to the customer, which is of utmost importance here.
Right. Registrations over coffee, that does sound like a very tempting prospect, Ranjit, almost as if, it's almost something that you look forward to doing in terms of registering your property. But let me ask you, just for context for our viewers, you've been working with the registration department and TCS based on actual user experience. What was the biggest bottleneck that you actually encountered so far? And what's the one change that you would actually want the government to make as far as Star 2.0 is concerned?
So obviously you have many people in the ecosystem of a registration. You have a sub-registrar, you have a customer, you have the documentation, you have the technology, you have the developer, you have a bank, because most of the guys go for home loan. So getting all the entire ecosystem, connecting all the dots by way of a proper process in technology, it goes through its own challenge, and there will be some kind of bugs which have to be resolved, or some process level modification to make it more seamless. But I think Tamil Nadu government department have been very, very proactive along with TCS in listening to us, listening to actual customer experience. They have visited our office. They have witnessed actual registration, taken feedbacks, improvised the process as well as on the technology front, and made it as seamless as possible. Yes, things can even become better if everything becomes automatic without any approval as today is required from the sub-registrar, but that is our hope going forward. So one step at a time, but I would appreciate that they have really taken great efforts in bringing where we are today.
No, for sure, Ranjit. One can only hope and aspire that, more features actually make registration all the more seamless. Like you mentioned, perhaps even an automatic registration process, that would certainly be the dream while buying a home. Now, but, coming back to this process itself, is it only making registration more convenient, or does it also fundamentally change the economics of buying a home? For instance, are you seeing transaction costs reducing significantly, and are delays and uncertainty around when a property can register becoming less prominent now than before?
So in terms of the statutory duties and taxes, they remain the same. You have to pay the same stamp duty, which otherwise you would have paid at the registration office. So that is not going to change. Yes, you will have some cost of convenience, which will be in favor of the customer. You don't have to travel all the way. You don't have so-called middlemen. You don't have too many people involved in this entire process. You are directly registering using technology, so you're saving those kind of costs for sure. But again, I would request you to weigh the convenience over cost here. The convenience, if it becomes better and more transparent, the confidence in investing in Tamil Nadu will grow even further. And the confidence in buying a home becomes even better. So here I would emphasize more on convenience than transaction cost. Stamp duty is not going to change, and that remains the same. There could be some reasonable saving on travel cost and some kind of other costs which are involved in registration. But I think whatever I experienced from customers and the feedback we have got is that the convenience of choosing their own date, time, where they can just come with their family. NRIs are so happy they can choose their own date. That's the best part about this presence-less system.
Right. You know, Rajit, even as we speak about registrations, planning, approvals, a lot of this is back in the spotlight in Tamil Nadu and more specifically in Chennai over the last few months, especially as the Pallikaranai Ramsar issue has cropped up. Now, I know that CREDAI has spoken and will be the authority that speaks about it insofar as developers, from Chennai are concerned. But I have to ask you, Ranjit, I'm sure my viewers would know that as far as DRA Homes is concerned, are there any concerns about projects or potential sites from your side being held back on account of this regulatory issue? And if yes, how much of this is actually affecting your launch timelines in Chennai?
Yeah, so definitely DRA also, amongst many other developers, are affected by the Ramsar issue. We also do have one project which is we are not able to get approval currently because of the ban on approvals on the influence zone. But I would like to say that CREDAI has taken incredible steps with the Honorable High Court, and Honorable High Court has patiently heard the views, and I have understood the concerns around non-development in this influence zone. So they would like to balance out environment with the development. Now it's just a matter of days and weeks, I would say, not even months. We should get some order from Honorable High Court of Madras. The next hearing is scheduled this week, and I think we should have some good resolution to this issue. I wouldn't say even in months, but in weeks. Then things will roll back to the original process as it was.
Tracking that, those legal proceedings as well right here on South Central. But, I'm just curious, Ranjit, and I can only ask you this because you're a developer and do this day in and day out. All of this uncertainty over that 1 kilometer buffer zone around the Ramsar site, does it actually change the way you look at land acquisition and launches as far as South Chennai is concerned? For instance, are developers like you now having to price this regulatory risk into land and simply avoid certain micro markets altogether? Does such a thing actually affect the way you go about doing business in South Chennai in many ways, Ranjit?
So we have discussed amongst developers, and we believe that this is like a one-off situation which unfortunately has come up. Otherwise, the regulatory concerns have not been there around development in Chennai. So we treat this as a one-off situation. Yes, currently we are affected, no two doubts about that. The development around that area has been stalled, so has put a bit of uncertainty, and we are hoping that resolution will come quickly in a matter of days or weeks. I don't think we will be too bothered about, once this is resolved, about worrying about such situations in future. So market eventually will decide the pricing. So I leave the pricing bit to the market. But I don't think so we'll be too worried about the regulatory risk in future, because we consider this like one of a black swan event, kind like a COVID, or that's what I would say. We haven't seen such a situation, at least in my entire experience in real estate. So hopefully it happens sometimes. Yeah, we are living in a society where we have different kinds of people. So we have to respect everybody and leave the decision to the Honorable Justice.
Absolutely. Well, one can only hope that this is a one-off and that, for your sake at least, it's business as usual in Chennai. But on that note, Ranjit Rathod, thank you so much for joining us on South Central. Presence-less home registrations. Hopefully that's the future of the way one goes about formalizing and complying legal requirements to own a home in Chennai. Thank you so much for joining us and breaking down what it's all about. Great to have you with us here.
Thank you, Jude. Thank you to ET Now.
And with that, we're slipping into a short break, but don't go anywhere because South Central will be back on the other side. Keep staying tuned to ET Now.